Hi, everybody. I'm Kathy Silberman. I'm from Academic Alliances. Thank you so much for coming to this session of College Connections. It's the last one of the year. We are working on something for summer, hopefully, so we'll let you know about that if we add one to the series, but this is the last official one for the semester, and we are really happy to have the School of Geographical Sciences and Urban Planning from the College of Liberal Arts and Sciences at ASU. Today, we have a great group here with a lot of really good advising information that you can share with your students, or if some of you are students, then hopefully you'll learn a lot that will help you as you are planning your transfer to ASU. And I'm going to turn it over to Charlene from the school right now, and they're going to share some information. And then afterwards, I'm going to share some information about my path to ASU, and then we'll open it up for Q&A at the end. So Charlene, it's all yours.
Thank you, Kathy. So my name is Charlene Becker. I oversee academic advising, curriculum, and class scheduling for the School of Geographical Sciences and Urban Planning. It's a mouthful, so we lovingly refer to ourselves as GSUP or SGSUP. You might hear that throughout the presentation. A little bit of background or information about our school. You can see here all the different degree programs that we have. We also offer different certificates and minors that you'll hear about as well. And this slide just shows, the programs that are online, ASU online versus on the Tempe campus. You can see most of our programs are pretty flexible and what students can do. Again, you'll hear a little bit more about that. We have around 900 students enrolled in our majors. So we have about 8,500 to 9,000 students that actually take our classes every semester. So pretty popular classes. We have some wonderful faculty who you'll hear from, some of them this morning. Some of our faculty that you'll hear from, we have Dr. Megan Allens for urban planning, Dr. Drew Turgovac on the geographic information systems, and Dr. Ryan Heinzman covering the geography spectrum. We also have our academic advising manager, Beverly Davis here, and our career counselor, Eleanor Brio, and we'll all be here to help answer questions along the way as well. So, Ryan, I will turn it over to you.
Thanks, Charlene. So I am a teaching professor in SGSUP, and I'm actually a product of this department as well. I actually went through one of the majors that you'll see in a couple of slides here. But now I am teaching it, and I teach a lot of these classes in these different geography, BA, BS, and then the focus on Met and climate. Something that I just kind of want to mention before I get a little bit more in depth on these majors is a lot of these geography classes that we teach, especially the 100, 200, and 300 level courses, are designed with the idea in mind that we have a lot of students. Many of them are taking it kind of as their exploration into geography, and many of them are taking it as transfer students from community colleges. And so with that in mind, a lot of our courses, at least within these majors, are focused on those types of students who are coming to us for the first time, kind of encountering math and science for the first time, or coming from a community college and wanting to interact with other students and kind of get integrated into the ASU system. And so through that, we have a lot of course elements that allow for that kind of flexibility and friendliness with learning these subjects with regards to things like the grading schemes that we have, or for some of the in-person classes. We have it with regards to some of the group work assignments that are offered to kind of get more of a community learning experience for a lot of our students. So with that in mind, I'm going to kind of just quickly move through a few of these majors, since I have three of them here today. The Geography BA, which is offered both in person and online. And these two, there's the science one and the Bachelor of Arts. This one is much more focused on kind of the cultural or humanities focused side of geography. And so a lot of the courses that students might take with this major, if they're interested in it, are more focused on things that might allow them to interact with people in a cultural or humanistic sense once they're done. They might take courses like world geography and human geography. This one is unique from the other geography courses as it has a second language requirement. And a lot of the courses that are offered as upper division courses, which are the types of courses that the transfer students might be taking, are really focused on that cultural or human geography side of things. So geography of different parts around the world, Europe, the Middle East, Africa, as well as things like the geography of world crises or population geography. So this is much more the cultural side of things, human geography. The next one we'll go to here is more kind of the physical geography side. So this is more landforms, climate, geomorphology types of things. Students might be interacting with parks or resource management. They might be taking courses like physical geography. This is a bit more in depth in terms of kind of the math and science side of things, although it's not as much in depth as the last one that we'll talk about. But they might take a stats for geography and planning, some of the upper division courses that some students might take in this geography BS, Bachelor of Science, is going to be things like global change, climate change, Arizona landscapes, as well as geography of natural resources. So compared to the Bachelor of Arts geography degree, this is a bit more kind of science, hard science type of focus. And then the last one that I'll mention here is the one that I actually am a product of, is the geography with a focus on meteorology and climatology. This one is much more focused on math and science and looking at weather, as well as kind of the physics of weather as well. Much more heavy on math and physics. You can see in the course requirements there. But some students might take the certificate associated with this if they're interested in going, not necessarily with the National Weather Service, which requires all that math and science, but they're interested in going into things like broadcast, TV meteorologists, for example. So if you are interested in this type of program, this is the one that I have the most experience talking about. I have had many students that have taken my classes in this, like Met Instruments, who have gone on and worked all around the Phoenix area in jobs like flood control or air quality. So I'm happy to talk a little bit more about this one if you're interested, as well as the other BS and BA in geography. So with that, I'll hand it over to Megan, who's going to tell you about the urban planning.
Hi, everyone. I am Megan Ellens. I am Associate Director of Planning Programs at GSUP, which means that I work with our undergrads, our master's students, and our PhD students. So I apologize if it's a little noisy. I'm coming to you from an elementary school, last day of school field trip today. So urban planning is a super flexible degree program. Really, if you hear students thinking about, like, I'm interested in cities, I'm interested in communities, I'm interested in space, in transportation, it's a really broad degree program with a lot of broad career paths that Eleanor will get more into later. I myself have been in the field of urban planning since my sophomore year in college, when I thought that I wanted to do architecture and realized that I wanted to do something that was a little bit more broad reaching than just focusing on the building itself. So we have our planning degree programs at the undergrad level. We have them both online and in person. And our faculty cover a really broad range of topics. So from transportation, we have faculty focused on housing nationally within the state of Arizona, with a bit of international as well. We have faculty that are focused on environmental issues. So thinking about urban heat and thinking about shade and open space, food systems and food justice, environmental justice. And so it's a very flexible, very broad degree program. One of the things that we are in the process of doing as well, as you think about your students and what they may be interested in, is we're actually going through a revamp of our undergrad program, which I'm particularly excited about. This is part of a national effort to think about how do we take undergraduate curriculums and really prepare these students to be job ready when they graduate. And so we're going through those steps as well to further add some additional electives and add some additional degree program requirements and opportunities within our BSP. A couple other things that I just want to mention that are special about our program. You get a taste of a lot of things, including subjects of sustainability, but then also those nuts and bolts and like core skills for urban planning. So again, if you are a student or you have a student who's interested in being really job ready, when they graduate. A lot of those students will go into the public sector, and then we provide a lot of those opportunities. One of the other really cool things that we do is we really embrace the idea that urban planning is about real world planning problems, and it's about being connected to your communities. And so many of our classes, online or in person, we will partner with communities on real world challenges. So students get that opportunity to either consider a real world problem in context and kind of work through how they would deal with that. Or we oftentimes will work with either a city directly or a unit within the university called Project Cities, where we actually work with cities to produce real recommendations that cities then take and work into their planning solutions. So it's a really neat opportunity to get that hands-on experience. The last thing that I'll mention is that we have a really strong network with planning practitioners. So for students, that means that you get these direct connections to things like the American Planning Association, which is the national professional network for planners, as well as we have really strong ties with the state chapter in Arizona. That means access to a lot of our events around networking opportunities, around internship access. So we really work to maintain that very strong professional connection. And I think that's a huge value add for our students. And it's something that we see that carries them forward into their careers, whether they decide to stay with us and do a master's program, and we'll briefly chat about that later, or they decide to go into the career and we see them access those internship opportunities. It really provides them that platform, that jumping point to move forward. So I'm happy to answer any questions. I've been a planner basically my whole life. So it's something that I'm really passionate about, and many of our faculty are equally passionate about. So looking forward to answering your questions online, and then I'll pass it to Drew.
Hey everyone, my name is Drew Turgovac. I am an assistant teaching professor in SG Sub. I am also the GIS program coordinator, which means that I'm in charge of curriculum development. So geographic information science, I'm glad that we went last, because I feel that we're kind of the linchpin that helps to hold everything else together, whether it's planning or whether it's the geography, because we do and investigate spatial data. And that is where we really thrive. We understand what spatial data is, how it is different from normal data, how to visualize it, the best way to communicate results, and how to analyze it. And so our programs here are offered both in person and online. We have a very strong online presence. We don't have as many majors as something like urban planning does, but we have a lot of people who go into the certificate, because we offer then this toolkit that is helpful to go into any of these other types of careers. While you see, like on this page, you see a bunch of career paths with GIS developer, remote sensing specialist, obviously all very focused on GIS. However, all the other career paths that you have seen on the other slides, we are key in helping those individuals do their job even better than what they could be if they didn't have a GIS certificate or GIS background. So most of our, I would say probably over half of our students who are online and who are also taking the certificate are in a variety of other majors, such as life sciences, sustainability, computer science. It just kind of depends how and what you want to do. So our core deals with getting to know various GIS products, both online and on your desktop, and then getting into some programming using Python, and then having these application classes like GIS in public health and GIS for climate change. So if you're looking for a skill set that can really put you ahead in the chosen profession that you want to get into, having at least a certificate in geographic information science is really key here. And if you have any questions, obviously it will be available throughout the rest of the presentation. Now I believe I'm going to pass it on to Eleanor Brillo, who is our career counselor.
Great, thanks, Drew. So hi, everyone. My name is Eleanor. I'm the Career and Internship Specialist for GSUB, and I'm very excited to share today a bit about that portion of the student experience. So what's unique about, careers in geography, GIS, and urban planning is that, our students and graduates really get to combine creativity, analysis, and community impact. I'll just share that a lot of what I hear from our students and practitioners in the field is the most rewarding part of the role is seeing the impact that the work makes on the community. It's very tangible. And so a combination of all three of those things is, a great fit for our students and professionals in the field. Next slide, please. So here is a snapshot of career pathways within our majors. So like it was mentioned before, geography has a lot of diverse opportunities just depending on what specialization the student chooses. So graduates can find themselves in environmental sciences, natural resources planning, all the way to geographic education. So there's a ton of opportunities related to geography. With our planners, they can find themselves in the private, nonprofit, and public sector. There's many niches that the students and graduates can choose to specialize in, whether it's municipal planning, transportation, environmental, and so much more. GIS graduates can consider a range of job titles from GIS technician to specialist, scientist, developer. There's a lot of variations there. We also have some professionals that choose to specialize in remote sensing and cartography. So far as key skills for the different fields, as you can see, there is a lot of technical software-based skills that our students and graduates, collect throughout their degree. But a lot of the work too focuses on relational and stakeholder management roles such as project management, policy analysis, especially in those consulting and public sector spaces. Next slide, please. So now I'd like to share a bit of a snapshot for individual careers. So first we'll focus on becoming a traditional urban planner. So the first step is to earn a bachelor's degree. The most common degree to associated with that path is in urban planning. It's essential for students to gain practical experience, whether that's projects within their degree or through internships as a student. The data shows that about 60% of urban planners do have a master's degree. So a lot of students decide to embark on the master's degree in environmental and urban planning, either directly after their bachelor's degree or after a few years of work experience. What's really exciting about planning is that there is the opportunity to become a certified planner with the American Planning Association. That association also has a pilot program where students can become candidates for that certification during their degree program. So certification is absolutely something that can be integrated into the academic experience. Following that, the student can advance in their career. So, considering senior roles and promotions as they gain more experience. And then what's also exciting about planning is that it is a space of continuous learning. And so workshops, conferences, trainings, ongoing professional development is definitely a part of growing and advancing in this career path. Next slide. Great. So next we'll focus on becoming a GIS analyst. So what's common is for those students to start with a bachelor's degree. Either the BS in geography or GIS is most common for that career path. What's wonderful about the ASU experience is that each student has a free ArcGIS Pro license, so they can be using that platform with their personal projects or course assignments to build those technical skills with GIS. These students also gain experience through projects and interns throughout their academic experience. And this is also a great field to choose a specialization in during the professional and academic experience. So like Drew mentioned, there's a lot of different niches to explore, from environmental sciences to public health, which can definitely be done through course selection, so the electives. GIS specialists are also able to be certified as well. Esri has a lot of technical certifications that students can be considering to complement their academic credential. And then finally, students can consider our master's degree in GIS or advancing in their job title through experience in the field. Wonderful. And then lastly, we'll share a bit on becoming a climatologist. So we do recommend that students interested in that career path consider the bachelor's degree in geography, specifically focusing on meteorology and climatology. Through electives and coursework, students will develop key skills in modeling, analyzing data, and GIS that's essential for the climatology field. Again, internships, research projects, or roles within GSUP's numerous research centers is recommended to build skills in that specific field. And we see a lot of students interested in this field going on to pursue either a master's degree in geography or even a PhD to broaden and deepen their expertise. Finally, we see students, seeking advanced positions in research, policymaking, even consulting after their educational experience. Next slide. Perfect. An advantage of the GSUP student experience is having a dedicated career and internship professional. So I do meet one-on-one with students to have conversations about career. We discuss everything from exploring what they can do with their major to reviewing their resume and cover letter, searching for jobs and networking, and then finally preparing for interviews and graduate school. So there's a broad range of conversations that students can have with me during their time here at GSUP and even as a recent alumni. We do highly recommend students considering integrating an internship into their experience. The data shows that students that work with their career center are more likely to land a paid internship and achieve success and advancement in their career path. And so the internships is definitely a focus and mission of the career side of the student experience. Next slide, please. Great. We do have a few resources that are a great fit for prospective students, especially. One is Pathway U. So if you scan the first QR code on the top of the screen, we have a guide that complements well with using the platform. So Pathway U is a career exploration platform for students to align their values, strengths, preferences, all that good stuff with different career options and job titles. And so students will take 4 assessments to determine their strengths, values, everything that makes them themselves in the career and workforce. And they'll be matched with careers, so subject areas and individual careers, and it will indicate, whether it's a very strong match to not so strong. The guide on the QR code, it not only has the link to access Pathway U, but also job titles that align with the major so that the experience can be curated to the possibilities within our school's academic programs. And then finally, we do have career guides for each specific discipline/major. If you scan the QR code on the bottom, it'll take you to a Google folder of those major specific career guides. These are multi-page documents that have the aggregated top data for each field. So, everything from top employers nationwide, top job boards, skills. It's a great source of information for students who are interested in learning more about those specific fields and preparing to advance in those careers. Next slide. And then lastly, I wanted to share a bit about Career Navigator. So that is the flagship career exploration event for GSUP. So this is a career exploration fair where we host over 50 community partners annually to share about their career and experience in the field, what it's like to work at their organization, as well as oftentimes open internships or positions that they have at their company. So it's great for the students to learn more about their chosen field and also network, make connections with professionals in their field. This year, Career Navigator will be hosted on Thursday, November 6th from 2:30 to 5 p.m. And as every year, it'll be on the 10th.
I'll go ahead.
Wonderful. Thanks for the opportunity to share. I'll pass it to Beverly.
Thank you. So hi, my name is Beverly Davis. I'm the advising manager for the undergraduate side. And I just wanted to share there's some really great opportunities for accelerated programs within our degree focuses. So our three main focuses all branch into the master's, the urban environmental planning program. So let's say that you want to get a 2-year degree, but want to integrate 1 year of that master's degree into your undergraduate. That is an option for you if you're in urban planning, geography, or GIS, if you want to go to the MUEP. So that's one option. The other option is if you're in if you want to do geography to an accelerated geography MA, that's another option. So this is just highlighting the different pairings that we do have. If you want to go to the next slide. So the reasons to look at accelerated programs are that it does save time. So instead of taking the 4 years for your traditional undergrad degree and then going into a 2 years master's degree program, so that's 6 years total, you basically cut that by year. So students can consider this option to, kind of straight line a master's degree focus if they are eligible. So there's eligibility to get into an accelerated program that they have to take a look at. And typically students will apply their spring semester of their junior year. And they also save money because that 1 year of graduate level focus that they integrate into their senior year is only priced at undergrad tuition pricing versus graduate tuition pricing. So if you, if you have students or if you are a student that's interested in a accelerated focus, definitely meet with your advising team, talk about the specifics of what they're looking for in terms of eligibility requirements and kind of how to pace yourself for that particular focus so that we can integrate those graduate courses at the end of the undergraduate degree. And I pass it to Kathy.
Thanks, everybody. I'm going to share a little bit about my Path to ASU. I think many of you who are with us today already know about my Path to ASU, but for those of you who are not aware of it, it's our transfer tool that lays out a very clear pathway of showing students exactly what to take at your community college that will apply directly to toward their bachelor's degree when they transfer. And there are 3 easy steps to sign up for my Path to ASU. The sign-up process is a little bit different for Maricopa Community College's students than it is for students from any other institution outside of Maricopa County. And so we'll go through both. But some of the benefits of my Path to ASU, we have them available for all of our majors, over 400 majors. Students save time and money because first of all, they're maximizing transfer credit by taking courses from you, hopefully getting that associate's degree along the way, which we strongly support, and then transferring to ASU to finish up their bachelor's degree, to earn their bachelor's degree. And so also they have the feeling of reassurance that there's guaranteed admission into the program of their choice when they complete all of their pathway requirements. And so that's the coursework, of course, that's listed on the pathways, but also any additional admission requirements or, basically if there's any additional requirements, they are listed on those pathways so they can use that as a centralized resource along with the information, the check sheets and things like that you give them, their degree audit with you and everything, so that they can use those resources together to be on track for transfer and know exactly what to take. So I'm going to share a video of what my path to ASU looks like. Now, if you are an advisor or a counselor, depending on where you are in your role, then this would be the link that you would look at to just explore requirements, look up a requirement. Like if a student says, what math do I need? This is a good way to look it up without having to set up an account as if you were a student. So it's easy access to the information. I will send the slide deck to all of you following the presentation, so you can get to this link. And then also, this link is good for students who are undecided on their major and they want to compare requirements and just play around with the tool basically before they sign up for My Path to ASU. But rest assured, if you sign up for a pathway and then your major changes or your 4-year time frame to complete that runs out, you can always sign up again, and we will look at the most recent pathway as your real pathway, if you will. And so let's take a look at how My Path to ASU looks. All right, so if you are advising for the Maricopa Community Colleges, or if you are a Maricopa Community College student, then these are your links to sign up and to search all pathways. So we encourage you to go sign up so that you have access to your pathway. And then, like I said, if your goals change, you can always change pathways. And so if you are going to the Maricopa Community Colleges, there's a special website or web page on ASU's site just for you. On it, you'll see these 2 buttons. And so on the right, My Path to ASU Majors, that's what we just looked at. And so that is where you can explore, compare requirements, look up things quickly before you sign up or before your students sign up. And then on the left is the button to sign up. You can also sign up directly from the pathways. If you might have noticed on the pathway, there's a button to go straight to sign up if you know that that's the right one for you. So when you click on sign up, you are prompted to enter your Maricopa Enterprise ID or MEID and password and click login. And then basically when you sign up for My Path and you're a Maricopa student, it's basically like updating your academic plan in the student information system in SIS. So it's going to take you to your student center and you will select My Academic Plan. You're going to open your academic plan and click on Change Plan/MAP, which used to stand for Maricopa ASU Pathway Program, now called My Path to ASU. You're going to change your plan and then click on Change Your Plan and then select the term, the primary reason for attending, and your academic plan. And as advisors, I know that you often help students do this. And then students, if you get stuck at all, please reach out to your advisors or to your other enrollment folks at your college to help you with that process, because it's in Maricopa's SIS system, so they can help you out with that. And then you'll then see a summary of your new plan selection, and you'll click OK to confirm your plan, and that completes your sign up. And so in about 2 weeks or within 2 weeks, you'll receive your ASU Right user ID. And with that, you'll be able to log back into your pathway at any time to track your progress. Now, if you are advising or a student or teaching, that is, for any community colleges outside of Maricopa County, these are your steps to sign up for My Path to ASU. So step one is selecting your preferred way to study at ASU and letting us know where you're currently going to college, which community college you're attending. And then you're going to choose your program, and there's several ways to narrow that down, as you can see, keywords, area of interest, and college. And then you'll enter who you are and where you are so that we know who's signing up for what, and we know which information is appropriate to send you for updates and invitations to events online and in person and that kind of thing. You'll receive a transfer guide, which is called My Transfer Guide, and we'll look at that in just a moment a little bit closer. But that's going to help you track your degree progress. There's also a place that you can submit, or a link that you can submit course evaluation. So if you see that there's no direct equivalency to a course, you have that opportunity to submit a syllabus and have that course evaluated. Advisors can do that as well, or students can do that on their own behalf. And then the My Transfer Guide looks very much like what we just saw, but it's a little bit more interactive in that you can mark classes in progress or completed if you'd like to track along the way. And so here is what My Transfer Guide looks like. Here's a close-up of what we were just looking at. I just wanted to point out that the course search up here at the on the tabs is really helpful if your students have gone to more than one institution. Let's say they sign up, they're going to Mesa Community College, and so that's the college that they set up their pathway with, but they've also been to Coconino Community College, which is outside of Maricopa County, or somewhere out of state perhaps. Then they could put their courses in on the course search to look at how they could possibly transfer and apply toward their program as well. And then My Path to ASU is the tab that we're looking at. And exam search would show them if they would receive credit and for what, for certain scores, high enough scores on different standardized tests like advanced placement and college level examination program, CLEP. That's helpful if students have taken those exams, usually while they were in high schools when they would take those. And then student resources is kind of a little bit of a potpourri tab, catch-all. Our academic transfer credit solutions will sometimes put updated information in there, helpful information. So you can check that out as you look at your transfer guide. We also would like to point out that international students are able to sign up for My Path to ASU, because we get that question quite often, actually. And all students are able to sign up for My Path to ASU. Basically, you're signing up for a free resource that's going to give you information that's going to help you along the way. It's basically saying, I want a transfer guide, and I want to know that there's a place waiting for me at ASU in the major that I want to go into. So to recap, students create their My Path to ASU while they're at the community college, and they can use it to track their progress along the way. They complete their My Path while they're with you, and they apply to ASU. Typically about a year before you plan to transfer is when we recommend that students apply if they're transferring in the fall, and at least 6 months in advance if they're planning on transferring in the spring. And then they become a Sun Devil, and then they transfer to ASU and earn your bachelor's degree and hopefully beyond. So we're going to open it up for Q&A, and I have to give a bit of a disclaimer here. If anybody's chatted anything to me or has any questions for me, I lost my toolbar somehow and I can't get it back, so I can't see any of you. So I'm going to rely on this wonderful team from GSUP to lead the way on Q&A and scroll through to see if we have any questions to answer. In fact, I can't even find my button to stop sharing because I don't have the toolbar. So I'm going to rely on people talking. We will post the slide deck as well as sending it to you, but we will post it on the Academic Alliance's website and also the recording of the session. So if you had any coworkers that you'd like to share this with, that'll be a good way for them to see that. And that should be up within about a week. GSUP team, do you see any questions that need to be answered at this point?
We do not.
Well, I think that's because you did a fantastic job of covering all the bases. I know I learned a lot. I hope everybody else attending learned a lot as well. And GSUP, if you can put contact information in the chat.
It's on the next slide.
Is it? Okay, sorry. I forgot about that we added that. Let's go to that next slide.
I wonder if it will let you see it.
You know what? I think because I shared maybe before it was added, it's not letting me go to it.
Okay, I'll put that in the chat.
Thank you so much. Sorry about that.
We do have one question that just popped up. So if I'm a Maricopa Community College student who has already started the transfer process to ASU, is there any point in completing the link to the My Path to ASU for MCC students?
That's hard to say. I would say go ahead and, well, if you're in Maricopa, it is going to change your plan in your student center for MCC if you're going to Mesa. So that could be tricky if you're applying for graduation there. So I would check with an advisor, unless you are an advisor who's asking this, I don't know. Because if you change your plan, it could take you out of, application status, or I'm not sure how that works. So I would work with your advisor, and if you are an advisor and you're wondering, then I would work with A&R to see if that's going to upset anything in the system as far as the students, program. If it's not a program that has secondary, admission requirements, that is, it's a program that, you apply to ASU, you select your major, and you're accepted to ASU, so then therefore you're accepted to that major without any additional requirements, then I would say you probably don't need to sign up. One advantage to signing up is that we're in touch with you and we send you important deadlines and other communications, but feel free to reach out to me later on if you have any specific situations, or if you are a student and you need some assistance with that, and we'll get you connected with an admissions transfer specialist. And my email is, since I can't type in the chat, Kathy, Kathy .Silberman, SILB as in boy, ERMAN @asu.edu.
And then we had another question also pop up in the Q&A section. So I'm an ASU alumni. Can I also use the ASU pathways? I'd like to explore it more so I can help students at the college where I work.
Yeah, so if you're helping students with My Path to ASU, I would definitely share the fact that it exists with them in case they don't know. We also have some flyers. If you would like to reach out to me, I can share some flyers with you so that you can have those if you need any hard copies. There's an electronic version of it as well that I could send you. So if you can email me at kathy.silberman@asu.edu, I can give you those details.
Can anybody sign up for the ASU pathways then? Like, so if they're wanting to create, okay.
Yeah, anybody who's at a community college.
Okay.
And actually, if they're outside of Maricopa and they've gone to a community college outside of Maricopa, they could still sign up if that was, where they attended, even if they're like, let's say, taking a break from school or something like that, they could still sign up. And we do know that, the two different processes, that makes it a little bit more complicated. But luckily, I think probably most of you work for one institution, and so you only have to be aware of that one sign-up process. We are working actively with Maricopa to make the sign-up process easier. So I think you'll see some changes in the next year or so, hopefully, that are going to make it a lot simpler.
That's all I've been seeing.
Okay, well, thank you so much, GSUP, for all of the great information. It was a great way to end this year's College Connections workshops. And then also feel free to let us know, everybody who's watching today, if you have any requests for College Connections for next year. We're working on next year's schedule. And so if there's any programs, colleges, or schools at ASU that you would really like to learn about, please let me know. And if you didn't catch my email and you want to reach out, if you're an advising director, you know how to get me because I email you all the time. And if you're not, please ask your advising director and we'll get in touch and try to meet everybody's requests the best we can. So thank you, everybody, for attending. Thanks again, GSUP, and everybody have a great summer.
Thank you.
Thank you. Take care.
One last request, if somebody from GSUP can click on end webinar, that would be great because I'm not able to end it. Thank you.